Greetings, blessed love. Royal welcome to my channel. This is I am Life and Light Productions. And Just Sparks. I am your host. Royal welcome each and every eye. We do give thanks. Welcome to iLife. You know, as the heading say, today we're going to speak a little upon how to be godly. Like Psalm 1 teaches that, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsels of the ungodly. You see it? So how do we become godly? How do we walk godly? You know? So a mighty welcome to each and every eye. We do give thanks for another strong. This is our school of thought. Yes, right? I Just Sparks. Welcome, royal family. We do give thanks to the eyes them presence. For the eyes them presence is the gift. And that gift is life. Yes, right? Do realize that we are all one life, one energy, one spirit, one unit, one fullness, one heart, one love, one joy, one harmony. You see it? So we give thanks once again, royal family. Mighty heart of Sabbath remembrance to each and every eye that is observing their Sabbath this day, the seventh day, the Saturday. Yeah, we do give thanks for the mighty Sabbath remembrance. Remembering that the Sabbath is a state of fulfillment, a mental state of fulfillment, where you're dwelling in your desires fulfilled, accomplished. And there is nothing more for you to do than to give thanks and glorification, for it is already done. Showing gratitude, showing gratefulness, calling that which is not as though it is, to bring it into manifestation. We do give thanks once again. So the topic of today, how to become godly, or how to be godly, how to act godly. Because as according to Psalm 1, it says, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the laws of God. And in those laws, the laws of God, do he meditate day and night. He, becoming a tree planted by the river of water, bringeth forth his fruits in his season. His leaves also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. But the ungodly are not so. They are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. So what it is to be godly? Yes, right? What it is to walk godly on earth. You see it. Many of them say, oh, you got to join, a particular religious group, and then observe all their rites and rituals in order to become godly. Yes, right? But godliness is something of a different sort. Godliness is a state of consciousness, yes, right? Where you're dwelling in a place consciously where all things are made possible for you. Yes, right? Where you are in the awareness that all things are available to you. They are yours. You created them. That is the godliness, that godly way of thinking, that godly way of viewing the world, viewing creation. You see? For if you're God, and this is your creation which you have created, you would not be begging for anything. You see? You would not be lusting over anything. You would not be chasing anything. You see, you will more align with your purpose and then receive that which is for you. And that is what it is to be God. Knowing that whatever you desire is at your fingertips, it's possible for you. All you have to do is become that which you desire to be. Just as how God created all things, He became that which He desired to create. So, whatever you're desiring to be, you have to become it. And that is what it means to be godly. Yes, I have to be able to call things that are not as though they are. You see it? You know, and this is a great topic, you know, because it brings you forward to that saying in the Bible where it says that you have to become like a child again in order to enter into the kingdom of heaven. You know, because this is very important for what it is to become a child. You know, how do you become a child again? You know, like the same being born again, Nicodemus asks, how could a grown man become born again? Should he go back up in the womb of his mother to become born again and all these things? You know what I'm saying? So to become a child again, to have the mind of a child, you know, remember when we were children, you know, we didn't know much. We didn't have much experience, you know, so we didn't have much things to contend with within our mind. You see? So when our parents or teachers or people them that we deem highly within ourselves tell us certain things, we take it as is truth. You see? With no sort of fighting or rebelling against the thought or rejection towards the thought. We just accept the thought as truth. And that truth now becomes one of our beliefs, one of our structures in life, in our creation, in our reality that we experience. You see? So the goal of us is to be a child, have the mind of a child. For in this manifestation, you know, era that they call it now, you know, but it is the same yesterday, today, and forever will be. You know, it's a world of manifestation. You know, it's a world of projections where you project your images from within into the visible world. You see? So in this manifestation era, you know, we must understand now that, you know, I lose my train of thought. Well, I give thanks anyway, you know, because we're reasoning about, you know, I want to get right forward. You know, if anyone is live and listening to yeah, this is a perfect time where you can, you know, prompt me and tell me what I was talking about. Let me see if the eyes them were listening. You know, we give thanks for communication royally, you know, so each and everything happened for reasons. You know what I'm saying? Each and everything happened for reasons, you know? So while we in this manifestation stage here where we're learning that, you know, thoughts are creating, you know, and that whatever we're thinking, we're manifesting, you know, we have to become that which we desire to be. You see? So in order for us to manifest riches and abundance, we have to become that which we desire to be. Become the person that is rich already. Become the person that is abundant already, you know? And we do this by acquiring the feeling of the state, you know, because everything is states, you know? Everything has to do with your mental state, where you're at mentally, the thoughts them that you're holding, you know, because everything that you're holding is carrying a frequency, and this frequency is being emitted into the universe. You see? And it's like a ripple effect where it's bouncing back circumstances, situations, you know, and all these different events in your life for you to experience the same thing that you're thinking, you know? So as we're in this here with this whole thing of becoming God, and how it is to act godly, and then you understanding now that in order to act godly, you have to be someone who has no limitations, who doesn't see limitations, who doesn't see lack in this world, because this world is infinite. There is an infinite possibility of things that could exist within creation side by side. Yes, right? So this is what we must understand. That we must acquire a mind where we're fearless, where we cast away all doubt. There is no doubt, for all things are possible in creation. We have to learn to be able to call forth and invoke, clear our paths by our very word that we speak. For the word is everything. The word is what creates all things that we see and experience. The word that you hold within you. That is the power, the God that is in you, that is with you at all times. Your word. Yes, right. So we give thanks for these teachings. We give thanks for these knowledge, for it brings us into a more pure reality where we can understand how creation is actually working. And then through the power of thought, because it's a world built on faith, destiny, it's an inner power that is ruling. And this inner power that is ruling is the feeling that we carry, what they call emotion. That is what is ruling and creating in creation. Yes, right? We give it a blueprint, which is the visualization within our mind, the imaginative state, the light. We give the blueprint, and then the feeling, the emotion is what ripples out and creates. Yes, right? So we have to overcome these things. We have to overcome that whatever we think, we are manifesting. Yes, right? Even if it's something that we say, oh, we don't believe in that. That unbelief becomes a belief. Yes, right? That's why it's written in the Bible, make my unbelief belief. Yes, right? You can change it because your unbelief becomes a belief to you. You don't believe in something, that becomes your belief towards the thing. Though others around you are experiencing it because they say they believe it, you are not experiencing it because in your reality, you don't believe it exists. Yes, right. So you're not seeing the effects of it, even if it's happening to you. Yes, right. Yes, esoteric, we do give thanks. Rasta Foundation, much thanksgiving and ivings. Yes, Royal I, we do give thanks. All things we learn from leaders or those who hold so-called higher positions. What? The I was speaking on the question beyond things. All right, we learned from leaders and those who hold so-called higher positions. Okay, give thanks, Rasta U Foundation. So that's what I was meditating on. Okay. Oh, yes, as a youth. Right. I give thanks. We was reasoning about, as children, how you have to have the mind of a child in order to enter into the kingdom of heaven, in order to manifest and bring forth certain things. You see? And I was saying that as a child, anyone could basically tell you anything and you believe it to be true. And when you do that as a child, it becomes your reality. You see? Many of us are living a reality, living a truth over the things that we believed when we were younger. You see? So in order to enter into the kingdom, in order to create your own reality that you're desiring, you are to have the mind of a child. You have to be able to tell yourself something which in the world they will call a lie to yourself. You will have to be able to tell it to yourself and then believe it absolutely. You see, in order to be able to live in a mental reality of being there mentally before you're there physically. So we have to learn to return to the mind of a child, where they say you unlearn what you have learned, and go back to the state of you knowing nothing. You see it? And when you go back to that state of you know it nothing, then you can come now with practice, give yourself beliefs that you can now manifest in your reality. You see? So we have to learn to condition our mind, to be able to focus our mind, to concentrate on one particular thing only. You see? Dwell in one reality only. As they say in the scripture, you cannot serve two masters. You see? Either you're going to love one and despise the other, or you're going to cleave to one and reject the next one. You see? So it's the same thing within your mind space. You cannot dwell in two different realities at the same time. You see? It's just impossible. You can only be conscious of one particular reality at a time. And whichever reality you become conscious of is what you start to collapse and manifest into creation, to experience. You see? So it takes learning to settle and still your mind. You see? Learning to be able to make certain thoughts priority over certain thoughts, so that you keep certain thoughts in your mind longer than others. And if those other thoughts them come in, you can easily just, get rid of them. Take your focus off of them. So you have to learn all these things, all these mind controls within, and it's nothing forceful neither. You cannot force your way into the kingdom of heaven. You cannot force your way into your mind. Think of now, right now, with your current, mental state, your current thought pattern. You do not force yourself to think anything. You see it? Everything is happening pretty much automatically, because you're wired that way. You see it? You have already been programmed that way. You have already programmed yourself that way. So now it's to reprogram yourself in a different way. You see? So you have to learn now to change mental states. Change thoughts completely. Stop thinking one certain way and start thinking another certain way. And then be able to dwell in a state of remembrance. Remembering who you are. You see? Because you hear out there in the manifestative world that, those who teaching about manifestation and all these things, they speak about, the quantum field and the quantum reality where everyone have multiple, versions of self, and they're existing simultaneously. At the same time. There is a rich you, there is a poor you, there is a you that kills, there is a you that is raping, there is a you that is, has committed suicide. There is all these different versions of you that are existing right now with you. And I'm here to tell you that that is all a lie. They are possibilities. You see it? You are the one consciousness that exists. Apart from your consciousness, there is none. You are the only consciousness. And whatever you are conscious of, you manifest in your reality to experience. So this is why you must have the child of a mind, the mind of a child, to be able to change your conscious state at will. You know, I remember when my youngest son, King Shango, you know, he was about 3 years old just after, you know, my wife passed away, you know, and we had a little boy who used to come and visit us, you know, from up the street. And after a while, you know, for certain reasons, we stopped, you know, he stopped coming or we stopped him from coming or whatever. And then in the night, my son will get up in the morning and say that, you know, he had a dream with this person, this little boy, and they were fighting, you know. So he said like about 2 to 3 nights, 3 mornings in a row when he got up. Yes, right? So then I turned to him and I said, oh no, man, you and that boy is good. You all are friends. You all get along with each other. Everything is well with you. He said, yeah, we are friends. We get along. I said, yes, remember he come and he play with you. You all his friends. He get along. He said, okay, daddy. He run out smiling. He come back in a little while again. And he mentioned the boy name and he said, yeah, we are friends. Confirming it, you know. So I turned to him and tell him, yes, you all play together and are happy together. Do you all know that night when he went to sleep and got up the following morning, he turned to me and he said, Daddy, you know, me and that little boy was playing in my dream. We were playing and having fun, and he talked about the toys them that they was playing with and all of this. This is what I mean by acquiring the mind of a child. They take things, they soak it in as is. There is no sort of, you know, friction in their mind towards what to believe is right from what is wrong. That is what we acquired in this world of confusion that they brought us up in. Yes, right. We acquired a mind of resistance. We have a resistant, critical, discordant, fearful mind. That is the mind that they brought us up having. And all these different traits in this mind is destructive to our very being. And is what brings in all the sicknesses whatsoever we face by having resistant thoughts, by having critical thoughts, by having discordant thoughts, and by having fearful thoughts. We bring upon ourselves diabetes, high blood pressure, you know, arthritis, stomach cancer, prostate cancer, brain tumors, you name it. It comes from the wrong vibrations that we're holding within our structure. Call it negative emotions. Yes, right. That's why the ancients could heal sicknesses and diseases then with frequency, because they understood that it is your vibrational frequency that is causing the disruption within your structure. Call it the thought stem that you're holding, because every thought holds a vibration. You can see it from you have an happy thought. Oh, your body feel rejoice and you tingle. You know, you have a frustrating thought or an angry thought. Your body gets tense and it is now not as, you know, free as it used to be. You see it. So you see what anger is doing to you, what frustration, what stress. It's holding you down and crippling you and bringing you down to the grave. While the joy and the splendor and the peace, you know, and the acceptance and the tolerance is lifting you up and freeing you to more life. You see it. So these are the things them that we ought to overs. Walking in the mind of God, having that Father mind, that mind of authority, that mind of calling forth and invoking whatsoever you desire into your reality by invoking upon yourself the feeling of the state fulfilled. You call a thing into existence by becoming the frequency of the thing which you're calling. You see? And all it takes to do these things is practice, daily self-practice. You see? Because the mind of Christ is a very particular type of mind. You see it? Though all mind is Christ, the mind of Christ is a particular type of mind. It has a particular frequency. It carries a particular set of thoughts. Beside, thoughts of forgiveness and mercy and compassion, tolerance, patience. You know, all these thoughts are made up in the mind of Christ, because we know that all minds are one mind. All minds are being operated by the same power. So it's one power. So each mind is the same power. We are all one. Anyone you despise in yourself. Anyone you're judging yourself, for it is all reflections. Whatever you see upon them is what you're holding in you, whether it be a judgment, a condemnation, a freedom, or whatsoever. It is a belief that you hold within you, and then you impress it on the outer world upon others who you think fit that description. Many of times it's not so. Many of times we are assuming wrongfully. That's why they say you must not judge a book by the cover. Yes, right. Many a times too, we are judging according to our past experiences. You know, we was with someone who, when we were arguing and fussing and fighting, you know, they gave a certain look or a certain face or a certain expression. Many a times we take that expression from that person and try to fit it to every other person that we encounter who give us that same expression. And it's not necessarily that that expression coming from the same set of thoughts. So you see how we can be going wrong at times. We can be judging wrongfully. So it's better to forgive. It's better to see somebody's wrong and just be in acceptance. Okay, that is their wrong. I don't have to control the situation and try and correct them. They have to correct themselves. If you try to correct someone, you create resistance in their life and they will rebel, no matter what it is. See yourself. If you're doing something and someone tries to stop you, you rebel, because you have a right in creation to be whatever you desire to be. And your core being knows that. These are the things then we have to come into realization. And then with these thoughts now, these realizations, we can approach creation the right way and start to understand what creation is. Just like how they say in the scripture, Christ tell Peter, hey, come from in the sea and fish in fishes. Come, let us become fishers of men. Let me teach you to be a fisher of men. Yes, right? And many don't overs what that mean. Each and every eye within your existence is a fisher of man or men. Yes, right? Meaning that the thoughts them that you're holding must be played out by someone, be it male or female. Your thoughts that you're holding within you must be made manifest before you. So it must be played out by someone that is in that vibrational state as you. You see it? So everyone that react with you is your thoughts being pushed back to you. You see it? So we are reflective of each other according to frequency. You know, many people talk about, people, trying to negative energy coming and taking away your frequency and trying to suck your frequency. No, it don't work so. You attract what you are. Yes, right. If you're negative, you attract negative energy. And just as you see them sucking your energy, you be sucking others' energy. Yes, right. You have a blind eye to it. It come back to the parable. Why try to take the beam out of your brother's eye and you have not taken the blot out of your own eye? Yes, right? First take the blot out of your own eye, then you will see clearly enough to take the beam out of your brother's eye. You see it? And I'll give the item an example of this in the household with husband and wife. Yes, right? Say you get up in the morning, two of you all, you know what I'm saying? And however it may go, place untidy and needs to clean, right? The first one to wake up, let's say it's the husband. You know, he wake up and he comes outside and, the place untidy, but he sit down, he there on his phone and, he doing what he's doing. He in his own little world. Then the wife gets up and come out and, see the place untidy and, just within herself, she just, don't like it. Then she now turn to the husband and say to the husband, hey, hubby, you don't see the place need to clean, How come you up on your phone and the place need to clean like you wait for me to come clean it? I want to you. Why you not clean the place? You see it? To which the husband might turn around and be like, what the heck are you talking about? Because he's not even there, he's there in his own little world. You don't know what train of thoughts he's having. You see it? This is something of the similar thing where the beam is in the eye of the wife, not in the husband's eye. The husband paid no mind to the mess that was on the floor. He was in his own little world, and in his own little world, he saw importance in something that he was paying mind to. Not that he neglected to clean the place, He just wasn't there in thought at the moment. But the wife gets up and boom, a beam jumps in her eye. And instead of her taking the beam out of her eye, clearing the problem that has offended her, she looks at the husband and tries to take the beam out of her husband's eye, who never had the beam in his eye at the first place. So you understand how these things work. Sometimes you see something and it is for you to do. And even though there is others around you who you think should have done it, they're not there mentally. So they are not thinking on the same, thought pattern as you. So you can't judge others according to how you think. You see it? So, yes, I give thanks from 9 to 3. Oh, probably the eyes them are raised amongst the eyes themselves. Much love and blessings, we give thanks, for the royal moment, being able to just reason with the eyes them and, make the eyes them see. There is a lot of things them that, they have used to cover our eyes and they have taught us that, is not in harmony with the all. Yes, right? For if you want to know what is in harmony or what is to be in harmony with the all, check out creation. Check out nature. Nature is in harmony with all things, whether good, bad, or ugly. It's right. So for you to be in harmony with the Most High, who created nature in harmony, you must be able with all that is, all that is, you know. There should be no condemnation one to the other, There should be no disturbance of peace one to another. Yes, right? Because the same disturbance you're giving to that person that is pushing resistance is the same resistance that you will push if someone give you disturbance. So we have to learn to take away all the iniquity ways that was given to us. The ways of unfairness, so that we can become more godly, more fear. You know what I'm saying? Not more fearful as being, scared of a creator, but more fearful as being fear one to another. Holding off that perfect equal balance. Yes, right? A joy for Tim, and a joy for Brown, and a joy for Jill, and a joy for Samantha. Yes, right? A joy for each and every one, regardless of what. Yes, right? For whatever you see them as, and you put a label to it, that label is from within you. And you shall be judged according to it. You see it? Yeah, man, so we give thanks once again, Blessings to all the eyes them that they are, Ride home with Will. Yes, we give thanks, man. I love that one there. Blessed Aya. Ride home with Will. Yeah, that's how it go. It make me think on repatriation. For repatriation is a personal thing. And for anyone to return home, they have to do it at will. Many out there are waiting for others to come so that they can join a bandwagon and reach where they desire to reach, But if you desire somewhere, you would love it, And any place you would love, you will think about it ceaselessly. And wherever you think about ceaselessly, you will eventually be. You see it? So we give thanks, We give thanks for the fruits of creation. Because that's why it say, you shall know them by their fruit. You see it? People speak things out of their mouth. But if they're true to it, you will see the fruit of those words be made manifest. You see it? Yeah, you'll see the truth of a man say, I am living by faith and not by sight, and see that he is without work, and yet still he is filled continually. Have it no bank account, and yet still he eat daily, and he is full of happiness and joy within. And that happiness and joy within is what keeps him filled in the outer world. For happiness is a consciousness. Abundance is a consciousness. Peace is a consciousness. You see it? And we must acquire the consciousness of these things in order to live a peaceful, abundant, most fulfilling life. Many think that you need a lot to do it. You don't. Don't follow the world and the things of the world where they teach you that hoarding is great. When you must have a whole heap of things to know to yourself, to convince yourself that you're all right. When hurricane come and blow it down, what them say? God forbid anything, I'm not speaking about anyone, but just making a reference. They say, Lord God, all my things them gone. You see it? You can't trust in things because in any moment it is gone. So where should your trust be? Where should you be living? Should you be living in this physical reality as how they tell us it is? Or should you be in your mind, in the world of the spirits, in the world that they call heaven? Yes, right? What the Bible speak of, Holy Mount Zion. You see it. It's not an outward place. You see it. It's inward. Yes, right? And that place is established through thought. When they say Zion is a holy place, no sin can enter there. It's a state of mind. And no sin enters within that state of mind. It's a frequency. Yes, right? And those frequencies is what opens the first eye. So it cannot be forced. You know, you hear many teachers them out there talking about how you can open the third eye and how you can this and how you can that. It's a certain frequency you got to hold. Then they tell you that, oh, you got to align your chakras, them, your 7 chakras, align them, and then they give you the different names them to call and all these different things. No, chakras them. Yes, your chakras them are your principles them that you follow. You know? The 7 principles that you have to connect and become one within you. Yes, right. And those 7 principles is what release the fluid that awakens the Christ within you. It's principles that you must hold. One has to do with forgiveness and mercy. The other one has to do with tolerance and patience. One to another. Each eye is God.